The career I chose to research is occupational therapy. Occupational therapy in a nutshell is basically just being able to help all age groups from kids to geriatrics, which is older people, and everybody in between. So it helps a wide range of people. You also help people achieve their daily activities, for example, brushing their teeth. If someone can't brush their teeth, occupationals therefore help them be able to come up with ways that they can do it on their own so they don't constantly have to have help. They also help people with disabilities and injuries, providing support so that way people with those problems are able to overachieve them and become better at doing things that they would normally do. They also help people adapt back into the environment that they were missing out on. So basically that means if someone had a stroke, for example, and couldn't swallow right, so they had to use a blender and blend all their food, and all they wanted to do, their goal was just to be able to have ice cream. So when they finally achieve that goal and be able to swallow the food correctly, us as occupational therapists would be able to take them out on an outing to maybe Minchie's or somewhere like that and be able to get them to see that what they were missing out on and finally be able to give them the ice cream that they deserve for achieving their goal. Also, these OTs work with the doctors, families, and patients to help them achieve their goals. So it's more of a team effort. They work with the doctors because they need to know that their medical background and what they need to do to be able to fix their disabilities. They work with the families because the families are the main supporters of these patients that are having a hard time. And then the main thing that they are working with are the patients because they need to be able to really just be there for the patient and help them achieve the goals that they set. So the education required to be an occupational therapist is a master's degree, which is only 6 years of school. You can get a better salary if you want to get a doctorate degree, but getting a doctorate degree doesn't better your salary that much more than a master's degree. But if you decide to get a master's degree, Brenau University would be the best option in Georgia because it's ranked 32 in the United States, which is a very high ranking if you consider all the schools that offer this degree. So Brenau would be the best choice if you're staying in Georgia to go to school. And then also, one needs to be licensed and able to practice occupational therapy. So basically, if you don't have a master's yet, you cannot apply for this license. So you have to have your master's degree before even you're able to apply for this license and take the test and get the license. All states require it, so it's not something you can just skip out on because they want all their occupational therapists to be very educated on what they're doing and how they're doing things for these people that they're helping. The job duties of being an OT is spending a lot of time on your feet, so you need to wear comfortable shoes and clothes. It's not a regular business setting where you sit at a desk all day. You're actually going to be involved in helping these patients be able to walk, talk, anything like that again. So you just need to be able to wear lots of outfits that you're going to be able to move around in because it's a lot of time on your feet. And then also a big duty, this is one of the main job duties of being an OT, is to help the patients recover and improve as well as maintain any needed skills for daily living. So if you can't get them to recover fully from their injury, you can help them improve it. So that's basically showing that they can come up with a way to improve something that they couldn't do before, but not fully be able to do it by themselves because they can't do it the same way they used to be able to do it. It's just improving how they do it. And then maintaining the skill is not regressing on the skill that they already can have. It's being able to maintain the skills they have and help improve as well as recover fully from the skills that they don't have. So always want to try to keep the skills that they have there without regressing. We also have to train caregivers to provide for the patients. So you want these caregivers to be good for the patients because you want them to be able to give good caregiving skills like bedside manner and just really helping these patients be able to believe in themselves and set these goals that will make them achieve their goals. So the caregivers, that's their main job, but we have to train them so that way they know exactly what they need to do and how we want it done. Also, being able to operate technology is a big one, because without operating technology correctly, then you're not able to fully help your patients, because some patients need the technology to be able to fix their injuries. Also, having a go with the flow attitude is very beneficial for this job, because you're always, one day a patient could come in and they're happy and joyful and wanting to achieve their goal, and the next day they may come in and they don't want to do anything, they don't want to help themselves. So you just really have to be able to go with the flow and just help them become what they want and achieve their goals to the way they want them to do, because you know in the end that's what they're going to want. So you just need to have a chill kind of attitude and just let them figure out what they want, and then you help them along the way. And then there are some travel requirements. You can travel to other countries and states and things like that, but you don't have to. Just the mini travel requirements would be taking them on an outing. Say if they finished and achieved their goal, you could take them on an outing to show them what it's like to be back in the environment with that goal that they just had achieved. So that's a good way to motivate these patients. And then also money talk. So therapists make a great salary, and it comes out to be about $81,910 a year, which is very good, because you only have a master's degree and not even a doctorate. So that's a very good salary for being an occupational therapist. Also, there's always jobs available. So say a stay-at-home mom decides to join the workforce again, they're almost always able to find a job very quickly, because it's a high demand. So like it says in the next bullet, high demand equals higher pay. So we need lots of therapists, and the best way to get more people to be educated in occupational therapy is to offer a higher pay. So that's why the demand equals the higher pay. We also have great insurance, because this job's in the medical field, so it offers a great health insurance. The benefits of being an OT is being able to see just how much you change a patient's life. In most jobs, you can't see the actual outcome of things, but being a therapist, you're able to see how much you change that person's life and for them being able to achieve the goals that they set. So that's a great way to see change in a patient's life, which is very beneficial and pleasing to somebody who wants to be an OT. Also, you're always, like I said, guaranteed to find a job, because there's many jobs out there for this kind of work. It's not a typical business setting, so you don't sit at a desk all day. You're on your feet. You don't have to wear business clothes. You wear clothes that you're able to move around in, so that's very beneficial if you're not into the whole business setting. You can get a doctorate to higher your salary. I mean, you can get it, but it's not going to be as high as you probably would think it would be for a doctorate degree. So it's almost better just to get a master's. Knowing how to operate technologies can also raise your pay level, because not everybody's going to know how to operate the technology, so it gives you a 1-up if you know how to do that. And then also going from one specialty to another can cause a raise, because say you work at a hospital, you have lots of different people that you can work with, but if you switch to say a nursing home, they need a lot of people working in the nursing home, because there's so many baby boomers getting older and they're just needing more and more therapy, and so that's where they need the most therapists. So that's where you're going to get the highest amount of money. And then the job outlook is very good for this occupational therapy job. It's projected to grow 29% in the next 10 years, which is very huge. That's a big percentage for 10 years. OT can also help with various other diseases like autism, arthritis, what's another one? And I think that's about it for occupational therapy diseases, but I mean, you can think there's many of other ones you could think of. Anything that you can think of that deals with the way the body moves that can be treated by an OT. So there's various diseases that can be treated by an occupational therapist. And also a similar job to occupational therapy, if you don't think this is the right job for you, maybe you still like the way this job comes out to be, but you don't want to have the title occupational therapist, you could do a similar job, which is speech and language therapy, because they also help others with daily functions, because you have to be able to speak and do the language on a day-to-day basis, which is similar to occupational therapy because you have to be able to move on a day-to-day basis. So that's something that's kind of similar if you're looking to go in a different route. And my thoughts on this career, I chose this career because I love helping people. I also love helping older people because they have a lot of wisdom, which is just very cool to me. It's great because I get to spend the whole day with them. So my profession would be an occupational therapist specializing in geriatrics. So I really believe that is something that I'm looking forward to. Also, this career, I notice, has a lot of the qualities that I have that an OT should have. So I listen to people and hear what they have to say, and so that's something that an OT needs. And also I like helping, and so that's also something an OT needs to have as a quality. So I feel like that would make me very successful. Those are just a couple of the qualities that I listed, but there's many more, so I feel like I would be very successful within this job. And so basically my research questions and answers are on this page. So if you have a doctorate over a master's, will you make about the same amount of money? And so my research that I did said yes, you'll make about the same amount of money. Master's comes out to be $81,910 and doctorate is $84,872. So basically that's about a $3,000 difference. And from getting a master's with not that much schooling, it's only 6 years of schooling, and you make almost the same amount as doing 8 years of schooling, and you're not that much in debt because you have a less amount of schooling. So I believe that master's would be the best pathway to get to the occupational therapy career. I mean, you could go either way, but I just believe master's would be better. And then my second question is, which specific field within OT needs the most schooling and makes the most? So basically, from my research, I understood that geriatrics make the most money, that specialization, because they have the most people within that community that need help, and so they need more therapists, which means more money because they're more in demand. All the specialties require about the same amount of schooling, 6 years for a master's, so that's a good thing, but geriatrics makes the most, so you should probably go and do the 6 years and then go straight to geriatrics instead of going to another one if you want to make the most money. So that's my opinion. And then my third question is, how exactly will I help people that I work with, and some specific job details. So basically, I would help people by doing their day-to-day functions, and some specific details are evaluating patients' conditions. So you have to make sure that you're treating them for the right things, and then reviewing their medical history so you know maybe that they can't do certain things, and then demonstrating the exercises so that way they can see what to do for the therapy session. But there's way more than those three that I listed. So if you're really into that, you can research, but those are just basically my questions and then the answers that I found throughout my research. My closing thoughts on this research is that I really think that this type of research is great for somebody who wants to know the pros and cons, because it really enlightens you on making an educational decision. That way you know exactly what the pros are and what the cons are, so you can really just make a great decision on what you feel is best for you. And I feel that I made this best decision for me because I have a better understanding of what it takes to be an occupational therapist. So I really believe that this research has helped me decide for sure that I want to be an occupational therapist, because now I have a better understanding of what they need to do. And then this is my work side sheet, and that's the end of my career research presentation.